athlete with Figaro. Chris is here too, but he's over there. He's watching us right now. He'll join us just a minute for some exercises. But today I want to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart because it's something I've been dealing with for years, and I'm sure most people have as well, especially if you're a singer. It's how your body is in heels, okay? So, when you wear heels as a female or male, you wear heels and it's gonna put you forward, right? It's tipping your body center of gravity forward. And a lot of times to compensate, we're gonna arch our back, right? And not only this is uncomfortable, it's unnatural, and it's not flattering, and it's not conducive for actually getting the fullest breadth and expansion you can get, especially in your back. So a way that we can kind of counteract this is by really strengthening our hamstrings and working on our pelvic tuck, and that's what we're gonna do when Chris joins us.
All right, so when we're talking about finding hamstrings and finding heels, we very much want to focus on our upper hamstrings as well as a lot of focus on our heels, because those are the ones that are going to give us that really tucked position that's going to allow us to get the backside of our rib cage to fill up, as well as us to find our heels in standing, okay? And so we want to establish position first through this drill, and then I'm going to show you some ways to kind of build resiliency there. So in this drill, it's a basic 90-90 hip lift, okay? What I'm going to cue Steph to do, first and foremost, is just push her heels into the bench, okay, to find hamstrings, okay? And so ideally we have upper hamstrings, but at this point I'll take anything, okay? And so next I'm gonna put my hand on Stephanie's stomach, and I just wanna get a little bit of pelvic tuck from the ground, just a little bit. A common error that people make is they come into a bridge position where they're using their back like that, okay? We don't want that at all. That's actually gonna push us forward. So we've got this thing going on, okay? And so I'm gonna ask Stephanie, do you feel like kind of upper hamstrings in this position?
Yes.
So basic position, we're just gonna open Steph's hands up. We're just gonna go ahead and take 5 deep breaths in. So let's just, actually for these purposes, let's just go deep breath in and then just light exhale through your mouth, Steph. Good, good. Just one more time. All right, and for this exercise, like once we have this basic position, we can start to play around with just maintaining pelvic position while incorporating different movements of the legs to challenge our body to hold ourselves in this position. So Steph, let's give it a little bit of a tuck off the grounds here. Okay, and what I want you to do is we're gonna start to tap the chair with the other heel while keeping this pelvic position. So let's put your fingers on your pelvis here, okay, kind of on both sides. Okay, and I want you to just try to keep this and don't let it tip from side to side. Okay, so let's start to tap the chair with your heel. Okay, and the goal is just maintain this position. Steph can probably start to really feel burning in this left side.
Yes,
yeah? Right, so this is another way that we can start to kind of challenge it. Okay, let's do the other side, as well as start to kind of test for weaknesses from side to side. Okay, we can do this in addition to things like bridging. We can start to add in things like, Steph, come up on it and bring this foot off the ground. Start to come up and down. So let's tuck up and down on this left side. There you go. Let's just do about 5 of those. Now let's hold. Now let's start to tap with your heel. We can start to add difficulty to that and start to really challenge this, okay? The key is that once we're able to do this type of thing on the ground, we want to transfer to standing in our next exercise to build resiliency in a more specific position to what you'll experience when you sing. All right, so once we've got a good tuck on the ground, we have kind of good hamstrings, we can feel everything. Our goal ultimately is to progress to standing. So I found that the wall is a good intermediary step between the two. And so what we're going to do is just really replicate the position on the ground using a wall. So what I want Steph to do here is to press her back into my hands and just get a little bit of a tuck off the wall with her bum while pulling her heels back so she can feel those upper hamstrings. Okay, can you feel that, Steph? Mm-hmm. Okay, so very similar here, and you can see that as she's doing this, her head is stacked on top of her rib cage, over her heels. Okay, this is sort of our money position for getting the expansion and sort of the weight shift that we want. So Steph, I'm gonna have you reach forward with your arms here, okay? And I'm just gonna have you see if you can knock out a breath or two, just feeling that same thing, kind of maintaining this position and feeling hamstrings. Good, good. Can you still feel the same thing as you breathe? Good. Key thing here is that we want to feel hamstrings. If you start to feel quads, you know that kind of like weight is shifting forward there. So that's a big consideration to make. Once Steph has this in kind of this double leg position, I'm just going to have her step 1 foot forward slightly. Okay, so now this gives us the opportunity to shift, to kind of focus on one side versus the other. And what I want you to do, Steph, is you're just going to kind of drift your weight over this left side a little bit and think about just turning your hips a little bit towards that left side so you can feel that left hamstring a little bit more. Now let's reach with that right arm. Let's just give it a breath. Good, just one more. Very good. And we're just kind of using our hand to help to rotate her further towards that left side. This is really good for somebody that might have a little bit more pain or issues on one side versus the other. If you find that like your shoulder is dropped on one side or you feel a lot of heaviness on one side, finding hamstrings on the opposite side is going to help to kind of pull and rotate you back towards that side. So that's a big takeaway as well. So now we're just going to do these same two things in standing. All right. Now, Steph, what I want you to do in this position is we're just going to bend your knees slightly. Okay. We're going to reach with your arms. Okay. We're going to get that pelvic tuck. Very good. Really nice and stacked here. Just think about pressing your feet on the ground and digging back and breathing. Nice. Let's just do this one more time. Beautiful. Okay. Could you still feel hamstrings there?
Yes, for sure.
All right, so finally we're just gonna kind of put your right foot forward, okay? And I just want you to think about just not only shifting to the side, but also sort of rotating your torso back a little bit. This is a good view to kind of see how Steph's hip bones are kind of level here, and then she just turns a little bit so you can see that she's sort of turning into that left side to focus on it a little bit more. Let's just reach with this right arm here, so let's drop that. Okay, and let's just do the same thing again. And then long exhale. Very good, that's excellent. And you feel that left side should feel a little bit heavier, yeah?
Oh yeah, I feel like.
Very good. One more time. And exhale. Very good. And so these moves are great, particularly for someone that has that's going through a performance. You find you start to get fatigued. You can certainly do this backstage. You can also do this during a rehearsal just to kind of reestablish a full breath, to build a little bit of endurance and resiliency as you sing.